everybody.
Look who I dragged
It's
today.
Eric and Becky from the Eunice Group.
I dragged him on to this one today because, I'm doing it all by myself over here. I'm always live. He's never on.
That's because she's
Today's
better
the
on
day.
camera.
Today's the day. He decided to join in.
No, we have to jump in. We have to talk about something very, very important.
Today's topic is survival in business, especially right now. Obviously, today we are in the pandemic of COVID-19, and small business owners the community has been shattered. It's devastated. It's been devastating. So, what we always do though in time of crisis, whether it's a pandemic such as this or just a crisis in your own business, is that we usually go on the defense.
Yep.
And we usually start pulling back and we're worried about expenses, right? And
That's what we cut. It's survival mode. It's just, where can I
cutting.
cut? Where can I cut?
Right. And we're always looking at how we can save, cut back, and eliminate expenses to survive longer, to get a little bit farther than we already are, versus taking...
Sorry about that.
So the different approach would be that we go on offense.
Mm-hmm.
That we decide, okay, so we've identified the fact that we have weaknesses in our business or our system, right? So right now, as we are live today, which is April 9th.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the 9th.
April 9th, 2020.
Days are blending.
Everything's
so
blending.
crazy lately.
It's just like Groundhog Day, being quarantined. But it's April 9th, 2020, obviously. And as of right now, what holes have you seen in your business, in your system? What weaknesses have you identified based on the pandemic and how it's affected you?
Yeah, I think most people have realized that and they don't have emergency reserves or sufficient savings to handle a crisis of this nature.
Well, yes, and I think it's good that they identify what those holes and weaknesses actually are, right? Because we obviously all have them, though. It's not like you can plan for absolutely everything. You do your best until something happens and you're like, oh, that didn't work out. But I'm sure that there are areas of your business that are ironclad, okay? So this isn't a bad thing. This is a great thing to identify this. And
it's a learning opportunity, really.
Absolutely. And so where Eric is going with that is that normally when a client comes to us, we start looking, not that we look for the weaknesses, but we make ourselves aware of potential weaknesses. And one of the main things that we're always working with is an emergency or contingency funds for clients on that what if we have a catastrophic event happen just within your own business or economically or, what have you. So one of the things is emergency reserves that we work with.
Yeah, some people say, okay, well, obtain a line of credit, and if something were to happen, at least I have some kind of line of credit to draw off of. And that could be a potential Band-Aid. That's something that's commonly done, and sometimes we even suggest that as an option. But there's nothing really as good as having actual cash reserves in the event that something like this happens to draw off.
Correct. So, and then a lot of times you might say, yeah, Becky, that's great hindsight, right? It's like we don't have that. Well, it doesn't matter because we're in the middle of a crisis, and this is when we use the opportunity to correct the flaws in the system, right? The flaws in the business. So when you look at it, our general rule of thumb, or mine, I don't know if it's yours, I won't speak for you, but I'm always like, okay, my goal is 12 months of fixed overhead in a contingency fund. That's my goal.
Yeah,
and emergency reserves.
Yeah, most people tend to think 3 to 6 months, 6 months being the norm, 12 months being where we generally will target for our clients.
Anything is better than
If we
nothing.
can.
Let's just say that. Anything is better than nothing. And so it's a process, though. It's not like you wake up and you say, okay, my fixed overhead cost me $5,000 a month, so I'm just going to stick $60,000 in a savings account. Most people can't do that. Okay, most small business owners, if they have $60,000, it's not sitting in a contingency fund. Okay, so there are processes and there are ways to achieve this goal, and normally it takes longer than a year to come up with a year worth of that emergency reserves. So we work towards that. So I pose the question to you, number one, do you have one? And if you did, fantastic. Even if it was just enough for 1 or 2 months. Like, because we have no idea how long this is going to go. And we have no idea how long those loans are going to take to come in. So awesome job. And if you didn't have one and you kind of like, you know, just working every day to pay the bills and get ahead and whatever, well, number one, that shows, okay, that's okay, but now we have to figure out how we're going to start one, establish it, and fund it. And number two, why are we chasing our tail every month? Why are we just making enough to pay the bills and fund the business on a monthly basis versus, you know, starting to savings? I mean, that's a growth issue. So that pushed you down a different road, but you're still staying on offense. We're not on defense, we're on offense. We're looking to get better, we're looking to grow, we're looking to figure this out, and we're looking to fix whatever, you know, idiosyncrasies we have that weren't working correctly that we now know of, right? And sometimes it takes a crisis or a catastrophic event to make us realize that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you want to do with?
So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Establish an emergency fund or figure that out. Start thinking through that. You know, start talking to your financial people. And if you don't have any, you know, you can always ask us how to start it. But that would be number one. Number two, which is a huge one that we're seeing right now, but we're always looking at this opportunity for our clients, is can your business sell its product or services online? And 99.9% of the time, yes, you can. Maybe it's not your exact, you know, business, like maybe your hair salon. You obviously you cannot sell a haircut or coloring your hair online, but that business can produce something.
Yeah, it could. At that point, it's coming up with a new way of generating revenue. So that would be a service, but why not a product? Selling a product online. So that's another area that could bring in potential revenue, and it's something that a lot of salons don't do.
That's just one example.
Oh, absolutely, and there's a million. So some people, it could be online selling a product where actually they're purchasing, you know, consumable type good. But a lot of times it could be just promoting your business. So if you're in a service, a lot of people pull back on marketing too. They always say, well, there's not enough money for marketing, it's not enough money for advertising, but that, again, is one of the most important areas.
Yes, if you're saying that, you need to check yourself.
Yeah, so
Point blank, you need to check yourself.
So at base minimum, setting a certain target, you know, 3 to 5% of gross revenue should be allocated toward marketing, and then build an internet presence to sell your services. And then if you have the ability to sell product or even the service online in one format or another, you can set it up that way.
I just asked you that percentage right before we went live, and you were like, well, you know.
It depends.
And then you just throw that out there, 3 to 5%.
Well,
where was that when I asked?
Well, when you deal with informational type products, then you know you spend a lot of money in ad cost. So therefore, now the percentage is a lot higher. It's 80-90%. So
the banter between the two of us.
But the general business, 3 to 5%. That's the, you know, analyzing the financial statement and what falls into the advertising category and that kind of idea. But
truth be told, so I mean, like we're looking at this right now, and well, you know, we have one particular client, husband and wife team. The wife wanted to go and sell their product online. They are a retail company, and he's like, nope, it's all about the foot traffic, And she kept saying, I just know,
he
gotta
just
do
won't
it.
budge. He's old school. He doesn't want to try anything new.
We're losing connection. The book that I would suggest reading to get your head kind of in the zone of thinking, because sometimes what happens is you go, there's no way I can do this with my own business online. There is, online. So it's called Blue Oceans, and it was written by, I'm not going to mess this up, W. Chan Kim and Renee Moborn. But just go on Amazon, put in Blue Ocean,
Oh, it'll come up.
and
Very
it'll pop
popular
up.
book.
It's a little bit dated. However, the way they get your head thinking about a Blue Ocean strategy for your business is incredible. And it might just trigger something for you. So if you do not have something right now, that if you're just brick and mortar and you're not online, or you don't have another leg of a business to earn money, certainly check that out. Start brainstorming. Call your team. Okay, if you have team members that work with you, call them and brainstorm this if you can't figure it out. Call colleagues. Reach out to people in your own industry, or look at others in your own industry and see what they're doing. I'm not saying to copy or do that, just for ideas, to just start that flow.
Of course. And then if we come across a lot of industries, and we do this with a lot of our business clients, so we can help if you need some help.
Yeah, all right. And then the last point, I'm gonna let you take this, because like as we were discussing this, I know what it is, but you just seem to like deliver the beginning of that better than I do.
So another thing you can do is you have to build efficiencies within your business. So the idea with that is you can work with your employee management, so that you can kind of figure out how to be more efficient, and your employees producing whatever it is they're producing, work related to service, or you could develop efficiencies in regards to your financial accounting systems.
Okay, so you're saying basically take a look at what you're doing right now and take a look at how you could improve it.
Absolutely. It includes
As
people
far
who
as, like,
manufacture products.
right.
Take a look at your assembly line, figure out where in there can you, and I know a lot of businesses do this already, but this is a great opportunity to kind of make sure that you do a follow-up on that, or implement what it is that you've already been thinking but have been concerned about, cost or things of that nature.
Going a little deeper, you mean?
Yeah, definitely going a little deeper, and so this is a great time to build efficiencies within your business, so helps relate to additional profit, additional cash flow, putting money to emergency reserves, see how this all works.
It's cyclical.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, you take the defensive approach initially, I think, and you start looking deeper into the expenses, into the efficiencies. What is happening? What can we do better? How can we do it better? Am I dumping enough money into advertising?
Yeah.
Am I putting enough money out there for my team to be educated and trained on, for us, maybe it's, am I sending my team members out to these national conventions and seminars to get better at the softwares that we use and such things like that. So are you doing that with your team? Because a lot of times what we do is we just get caught up in that day-to-day rhythm, and we're working, but we're not training, we're not advancing any skills. And so if we can find some expenses or some expense categories where we may be spending too much, then we can grab from that, reallocate it into a budget, and increase something that's going to benefit us and bring more in somehow, right? So I know you're spending some serious coin on meals and entertainment. I'm the gatekeeper there, people. I'm all over that. Listen, I get it. You have to do meals and entertainment with your clients, with your team,
There's two
whatever.
schools of
I get it.
thinking.
However, stop it.
And if you work really hard, you deserve
play
the
hard.
spoils.
However, you have to make sure, though, that the rest is being taken care of. So, and a lot of times, too, like, you'd be surprised, you will develop higher employee morale by giving them more, by educating them, offering them additional training and education,
That's right.
offering them, like, we're working with some of our business owners right now that they, I'm on the phone with the business owner, I'm like, okay, wait, here's the time, here's what you need to do right now with your team. Here's what I think you should do with your managers. How can we improve management? How can we improve what they do? How can we improve their overall attitude and delivery down to the team members, how they want things done, right? So we're working on training managers and looking at the efficiencies of production and all of those
HR
things.
issues.
Right. And so how can you streamline? How can you get better? So these are all things that you look at, especially in time of crisis, what's working and not working, in order to improve them. And during this downtime is the best time to improve them, because guess what? you are a captive audience all yourself because you are not distracted by the day-to-day operations. So you may be distracted by the crisis that we find ourselves in, but you need to snap out of that and get rid of it. Like, you've already done the defensive tactic. You filed for your loans, you laid people off, everybody's on the plan. Okay, so they're over there, but that doesn't mean that you can't have strategy meetings with your team members. That doesn't mean you can't take a look at things with your BFF CPA or financial team and say, help me out, where are we standing right now? Because now you're 100% captive, you're all in. Because there's minimal daily distractions from the business. The team members are all in. Guys, they're stuck at home in quarantine with family members.
This is the best time.
They need something to do that's productive. They want something to do. So give it to them.
But it's even more so the fact that, I mean, if you can take care of all of this now, what happens when the floodgates open up again?
Exactly.
Now
you're ready to run.
It's time to go. You can make up for lost time or lost revenue.
Yep.
And it's going to be more competitive out there because people are going to be
doing this.
People are
going
going to be struggling, and they're going to be very aggressive and trying to prospect and market and steal your clients, so your customers, and so you have to be.
Yeah, but people are also doing this, so they're ready to go.
So you
need to be ready.
You have to step it up, and so you don't get squashed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we, just 3 ideas of. Sorry, traffic going by. Just 3. These are 3 quick ideas for small business strategy. For survival. But we don't want to look at, right now, it sort of is survival, but we don't really look at small business in a survival mode. We want to see that small business in a thriving mode. So hopefully these 3 items will trigger something for you to put you in a thriving mode, to change your mindset, to redirect it from waiting on when the loans will fund and everything else, okay? Because we've already done that, taken care of that. Now, take your brain and let's get something accomplished. Let's get something positive accomplished for your small business.
And this way you have no worries, as you can see. We are wearing
look,
Hakuna Matata shirts.
Can you see one?
Well, you're here.
Yeah, we have our Lion King shirts on, the Hakuna Matata. No worries, right?
You just have to try to take on that philosophy and push forward. That's all we can do.
If the girls heard us say that, they would actually come out here and sing it.
Yeah.
They would sing it for us. We don't want them to sing it because then we'll be here too long. But anyway, so I hope that served you. And honestly, if you have any questions at all about any of this, either comment below, or sometimes people get like a little I don't want to comment, my name shows up. Direct message us, give us a call. I mean, we're on the other end of the phone. The office line is forwarding to the cell phones. Any questions at all with regard to anything that we talked about today, or any other difficulties you may be facing in your business life right now, we're happy to help.
Yep,
we're here.
We're
here.
You.
We're quarantined with 2 kids.
I need to take a ride. I'll take the dog for another walk.
Poor Buddy. Buddy is like marathon status with the number of walks he gets. That's one of the only reasons why he can be outside right now. But anyway, and we hope you're well, you're staying healthy and safe, and that all is well on your end. So that's about it.
All right, we'll see you next time, and thanks for listening, and talk to you soon.
Have a great day.